one company where we were looking at their evaluation system, one of the key issues was timing, and their policy stated that people would be evaluated once a year. We went in and did an assessment and found out that the average person got an evaluation about once every 14 months, which is actually not bad compared to a lot of other places we've seen. The problem that came up was that once a year, it's sort of like averages. You know, it's only right a fraction of the time. It's most generally too high or too low. We found some new employees in their first 5 years who were still climbing a pretty steep learning curve. They probably should have been evaluated maybe once a quarter. They were taking on new assignments on a regular basis. They needed a lot of feedback. On the other hand, we found some people who had been in the same job for 10 years. They'd been with the company for 20 years. We looked at their evaluations that were done every year, and with the exception of the date at the top being different, they looked like they had actually been photocopied. And when we talked to some of the employees about it, it's like, that's okay. You know, my job's stable. I know what it is I'm supposed to do. You know, my boss and I talk, but I really don't need a lot of coaching and development and those sorts of things. I'm not ever going to become a general manager. I'm at the level I'm going to be at. I'm happy with that. The company's happy. And that was probably a meaningless paper exercise to do a full-blown evaluation. And what the employees suggested, and I think it makes a lot of sense, is my boss and I ought to have a sit-down conversation at least once a year to make sure I'm getting feedback that, yeah, I am doing a good job. But to fill out a 10-page report and write the same thing as last year, you know, once again, Joe is doing accounts receivable. You know, and here's all of it. I was like, well, that's what I did for the last 9 years. You know, I said that was a meaningless exercise. So where we get into problems, not only with evaluation, but I think with a lot of our other human resource policies as well, is believing that the average is the right thing to do. You know, and the average is almost never right. You know. And so we have a tendency to come up with sort of this line of best fit type of policy, and we lay it on everybody, and without a real good recognition of what that particular individual needs.